Hi, I'm Matt Meyer, your Newcastle County Executive. I'm here today with the former Secretary of Economic Development for the state of Delaware and one of the finest entrepreneurs Delaware's seen, former owner and CEO of Happy Harry's, Alan Levin. Today, we had an exciting announcement. The Wilmington Airport, which is owned by Newcastle County, which since 1995 has been under lease with the Delaware River Bay Authority, we have announced a task force to look at that lease and to make a determination whether it makes sense to renew that lease. Now, 1995 was a different time. In 1995, the internet was just being born in the private sector. Michael Jordan actually just came out of retirement. And about the same time, the county executive at the time, Dennis Greenhouse, recognized that the airport here, one of the largest facilities that county government, that the people of Newcastle County own, was bleeding our budget to the tune of $1 million, $2 million, $3 million every single year. So he and his staff decided to lease the property out for 30 years to Delaware River Bay Authority. By next year, we, your county government, need to make a decision whether it makes sense to renew that lease for an additional 30 years. We've put together a task force, and Alan Levin, the new chairman of the task force, is here to talk about it a little bit. Alan, welcome.
Well, I'd like to thank the county executive and county council for their support in this effort. County executive made reference to 1995, and what Newcastle County Airport and what was going on here. In Delaware at that time, we had as our largest employer the DuPont Company. We had a startup banking company, MBNA, which had launched. We even had a drug chain called Happy Harry's at that time. Things have changed dramatically in those 24 years since that time. And so the airport's needs have changed, and where Newcastle County should go in regards to that airport is what the mission of this task force is. We're hopeful that with the experts that we will engage as consultants, and also the experts that are part of the task force, their expertise, what they will bring to this, will allow the county executive and council to make a more informed decision on which way to go. Do we renew the lease with DRBA for the next 30 years? Do we look elsewhere for a better operation that gives more to the citizens of Newcastle County than what they're currently getting? Those are the issues that we will explore, and we look forward to getting into it.
Good, thank you, Alan. Alan's chairing a task force that I think is really a top-notch group of leaders from across our county with both knowledge of community, of potential training opportunities at the airport, of business opportunities at the airport, and also people just looking out for the interests of the taxpayer and the community. The task force includes 2 members of county council. County council is an integral partner in looking at this valuable county asset, Councilman George Smiley and Councilman Ken Woods. It also represents a number of leaders in industry. Corteva, for example, one of the Corteva AgriScience, recent spinoff from DuPont. AAA is represented on the task force. The Buccini Polling Group is represented, among others. We also have representatives of Del Tech, as you know well, Alan, from your time in economic development. Del Tech, I think with your partnership, formed a tremendous asset down in Georgetown in the southern part of the state, outside of Newcastle County, doing avionics training. Del Tech reports that they're taking students, and within, I believe, 18 to 24 months, they're coming out with $75,000 a year jobs. So,
yeah, the program that they established was the airframe and power plant, or what is known as A&P, at the Georgetown Airport. And I will tell you that they have more applicants than they can service. And in Delaware, one of the things we learned when I was at Dido from Dassault Falcon, which is one of our major tenants at Newcastle Airport, and flight safety and Hawker Beechcraft, they need trained mechanics, avionics people. And clearly that type of program, if we were able to establish it in Newcastle County, those graduates would just soar, if you will, and I probably shouldn't use that term, but nonetheless, they would find work immediately. And why not do it here in Newcastle County? So I'm very happy that Dr. Laura Johnson, who runs Deltec's Newcastle County campus, is serving on this.
Great. What do you want to happen, Alan? In a perfect world, in 5 or 10 years, what would you see at the airport sort of resulting from this task force?
Well, as you know, Matt, I really don't know where this is going to take us down the road. I just know that we need to make this airport as viable as it can be for the citizens of Newcastle County. Today, this airport services the DRBA, which is great. They took it over from the county. They did what they had to for them. But today, we want to make sure that Newcastle County, the citizens of Newcastle County, are getting the most from this asset. And today, that's not the case. The asset is shared, or at least the revenues are shared between Delaware and the state of New Jersey. And that's fine, because that's the way DRBA is set up. But at the end of the day, we want to make sure that Newcastle County residents are getting their fair share. And that's where we're looking to go.
Great, thank you. What's the next step for the task force? We had an announcement today. What can taxpayers expect to see next?
Well, we're hopeful that in the next 10 days, Director Morris Folks and I, along with you, will get together a timetable for meetings, which we will announce when those meetings take place to get input not only from our committee members, but also from council that we'd like to engage as experts. This has been done around the United States. People that have taken regional airports, local airports, and made them into something that they're not today, to make them an economic driver for that region. And clearly, we think with Newcastle County's location, its proximity to Philadelphia, to BWI, Baltimore Washington International, and just being in the center of the hub of the nation's activities between the financial capital of the United States and the capital of the United States, this makes sense. And we need to make sure that in these meetings we explore all options, because everything is on the table. And I applaud you for putting this together and making it happen. We hope that in the end, when we give you our report by April of next year, that you can make an informed decision and an informed recommendation to council on which direction to go.
Thank you, Alan. Yeah, it's important to mention that there are models for this around the country. In Detroit, there's a large Detroit airport that some of you may have flown into or out of. Not far from it, there's Detroit City Airport. Not too different from what we have here at Wilmington Airport. For years of trying to get commercial service, they eventually have moved away from that in strategy. Now it's a major training ground, so that kids in Detroit, growing up in Detroit, can see a future in the avionics, pilot industries, airline industries, and they could get trained at this airport. At Piedmont Triad Airport down in North Carolina, similar situation in the shadows of Raleigh-Durham. They recently took a turn away from trying to get commercial air service, and they're now a major avionics sort of fix-it-up place for airplanes. They have jobs. Honda just came in, a major repair and manufacturer of airlines, and they're looking at $75,000 a year starting salaries on jobs. So, you know, commercial air service may still be a pathway we can pursue here at the Wilmington Airport, but I'm excited to see, by looking at some of these models, by understanding what some of the experts are saying in the market, what the market's telling us, what we can do to use this facility to the benefit of the people of this county. So thank you for your agreement to serve, and we look forward to hearing from all of you.